Hey everyone, and welcome back to Best English Podcast. I'm your host, Olivia, and as always, I am joined by the fantastic James. How are you doing today, James?
I'm doing great, Olivia. Fantastic is a strong word for a Thursday morning, but I've had my coffee, so I'm ready to go. It's great to be here with all of you listening.
Laughs. Only you would think fantastic is too strong, but I'm glad you're caffeinated and ready. Today, we have a topic that I think is probably the number one most requested, most asked about, and maybe the most feared topic for English learners everywhere.
Oh, I know this one. You can see the fear in people's eyes when you mention it. It's not grammar, it's not vocabulary, it's actually using it. We're talking about real English conversation practice.
Exactly. That moment when you have to stop reading the textbook and actually open your mouth to speak to another human being. It can be terrifying. But, and this is the big goal for today's episode, we want to show you that it doesn't have to be. In fact, it can be fun.
Fun? Are you sure? I remember some of my first conversations in another language. Fun was not the first word that came to my mind. Awkward, silent, panic, those were closer.
Laughs. Okay, you're right. It starts out feeling like that, but that's why we're here. We're going to break it all down. Why it's so scary, how to get over that fear, where to find people to talk to, and even what to talk about. By the end of this, you're going to feel so much more prepared and hopefully excited.
I love that. So, where do we start? I think we have to talk about the biggest problem first. The big, scary monster in the room. The fear of making mistakes.
Yes, this is everything. So many learners think, I can't speak until my English is perfect. They wait and wait and wait, studying grammar rules for years, but they never actually speak. And what happens?
They don't get any better at speaking. It's like reading 100 books about how to swim, but never getting in the water. You can know all the theory, but you're still going to sink.
That is the perfect analogy. You have to get in the water. You have to make mistakes. Let's say it together for everyone listening. Mistakes are not bad. Mistakes are proof that you are trying.
They really are. And honestly, native speakers make mistakes all the time. I say weird things constantly. Just this morning, I asked my wife to pass me the food heater instead of the microwave. My brain just stopped working.
Giggles. See, it happens. And did she get angry? Did she say, "Your English is terrible, James"?
No, she just laughed and passed me the microwave. And that's what most people will do. They'll understand what you mean. The goal of a conversation is not to be perfect. The goal is to communicate, to connect with another person.
That is the most important mindset shift. You're not taking a test. You're having a conversation. Think about it like this. If someone was trying to speak your native language to you and they made a mistake, would you judge them?
Of course not. I would be so impressed that they were trying. I would be encouraging and patient and do my best to understand them. And guess what? That's how most English speakers feel when you try to speak with them.
Exactly. So, step one is to be kind to yourself. Give yourself permission to be imperfect. Your accent is not a problem. Forgetting a word is not a problem. Using the wrong preposition is not a problem. It's all just part of the process.
I think a good practical tip here is to have a little phrase ready. If you get stuck, you can say something like, "Sorry, English is not my first language," or "How do you say?" or even just "One moment, please." Having a plan for when you get stuck can make you feel so much less panicked.
Oh, that's brilliant. It's like having a little safety net. Okay, so we have decided we are going to be brave, we are going to make mistakes, and it's going to be okay. Now for the next big question. Who do I talk to?
Right. This is a big one. For some people, they live in an English-speaking country, so they might have opportunities at the supermarket or a coffee shop. But for many learners, that's not an option.
And even if you do live in an English-speaking country, those small interactions can be really fast and stressful. The cashier at the grocery store doesn't have time to have a slow, patient conversation with you.
True. So, you need to find a dedicated conversation partner, someone whose goal is the same as yours, to practice. And, thankfully, with the internet, this is easier than ever before.
Let's talk about some options. My personal favorite is language exchange apps and websites. There are so many of them now. You find a native English speaker who wants to learn your language.
And then you can set up a time to talk. The classic way to do it is to speak for, say, 30 minutes in English and then 30 minutes in their target language, which is your native language. It's a win-win.
It really is. And the best part is that they're a learner too. They understand the fear. They understand what it's like to feel shy or make mistakes. There is zero judgment because they're in the exact same position as you.
I've used these before, and they can be amazing. A small piece of advice, though. Sometimes you have to try a few different partners to find a good one. Some people might be flaky, they cancel a lot. Some people might just not be a good personality match. Don't get discouraged if the first person you talk to isn't your future best friend.
That's such a good point. It's like dating. You might have to go on a few language dates to find the right person. Look for someone who is patient, a good listener, and who seems genuinely interested in helping you.
And be that person for them too. When it's their turn to practice your language, be just as patient and encouraging. It's a two-way street.
For sure. Another option, if you have a little money to spend, is hiring an online tutor. There are websites where you can find tutors from all over the world for very reasonable prices. You can book a 30-minute or 1-hour conversation class.
The benefit here is that it's all about you. You don't have to spend half the time teaching them your language, and a good tutor is trained to help you. They can correct your mistakes in a gentle way and suggest better vocabulary.
It's a great way to build confidence, especially at the beginning. You can even tell your tutor, I am very nervous. I just want to have a simple, friendly conversation. They will understand and guide you.
Okay, so we have language exchanges and online tutors. What else? What about people who want to find practice partners in their own city?
That's a great question. Look for local language exchange meetups. Websites like meetup.com or even Facebook groups often have language clubs. People get together in a cafe or a park and just chat.
Oh, I love that idea. It's less pressure because you're in a group. If you run out of things to say, you can just listen to other people for a bit. It's more social and can be a lot of fun.
It really can, and you might make new friends. The key takeaway here is that there are options for everyone, whether you're an introvert who prefers one-on-one chats from home or an extrovert who wants to meet a group of people. You just have to look for them.
All right, I'm convinced. I have my partner. Maybe I found a great guy from Canada on a language exchange app. We have a call scheduled for Saturday. Now, what on earth do we talk about?
The silence, that dreaded awkward silence where you're both just staring at the screen.
It's the worst, and your mind just goes completely blank. You forget every word of English you've ever learned. You can't even remember how to say hello.
It happens to everyone. The solution is simple. Prepare. You wouldn't go into an important exam without studying, so don't go into a conversation practice session without a few ideas.
That makes so much sense. So what kind of things should I prepare? A whole script?
No, definitely not a script. If you write a script, you'll sound like a robot and you won't learn how to respond naturally. What you need are topics and questions. Think of 3 to 5 simple topics you're interested in.
Okay, so for example, I could choose movies, food, and travel.
Perfect. Those are universal topics. Everyone has something to say about them. Now, for each topic, think of a few questions you could ask your partner. And also, think about how you would answer those questions yourself.
Oh, I see. So for movies, I could ask, have you seen any good movies recently? Or what's your favorite type of movie? Or who is your favorite actor?
Exactly. And you can prepare your own answers. Oh, I recently saw the new action movie. It was really exciting. My favorite actor is Tom Hanks because he's so versatile. Having those ideas in your head prevents that panic moment where your mind goes blank.
And you can do this for any topic. For food, what's a traditional dish from your country? Do you enjoy cooking? What's the strangest food you've ever eaten?
Yes, the questions are key. A conversation is like a game of tennis. One person serves the ball, asks a question, and the other person hits it back. They answer and then ask another question.
Oh, that's so important, the ask another question part. I think many learners focus so hard on their answer that they forget to keep the conversation going.
That's it. It's called active listening. You're not just waiting for your turn to speak. You're genuinely interested in what the other person is saying. Let's do a quick role play. James, ask me about my weekend.
Okay. Hey, Olivia, how was your weekend?
It was good.
Okay. And the conversation is dead.
Exactly. I gave you a dead-end answer. It was a closed answer. Now, let's try again. You ask me, and I'll give a better answer.
Hey, Olivia, how was your weekend?
It was really good. Thanks for asking. I went for a hike on Saturday with some friends. The weather was beautiful. How about you? Did you do anything fun?
Ah, see, that is so much better. You gave me details, a hike, friends, the weather, which gives me more things to ask about. And then you pass the ball back to me by asking about my weekend.
It's a simple trick, but it changes everything. Always try to add a little bit of extra information to your answers, and always try to ask a question back. It's the secret to a great conversation.
I love that. And if you're listening to your partner, you can ask follow-up questions. So if you said you went hiking, I could ask, oh, where did you go hiking? Or how long was the hike? Or I love hiking too. Have you ever been to the Blue Mountains?
Yes, yes, yes. This is what makes a conversation feel natural and friendly. It shows you're paying attention. Some great phrases to show you're listening are things like, oh, really? That's interesting. Tell me more about that. Or, wow, that sounds amazing.
These little phrases are like magic. They encourage the other person to keep talking, which takes the pressure off you.
It's so true. Okay, so we have our mindset, we have a partner, we have topics and questions, and we know how to be an active listener. What happens when we make a mistake? We said it's okay, but how do we handle it in the moment? And what about corrections?
This is a tricky one. You don't want to be corrected on every single sentence because that would destroy the flow of the conversation. It would feel like a grammar lesson, not a chat.
Right. My advice is to talk about this with your partner at the beginning. You can say something like, please don't worry about my small mistakes, but if I make a big mistake that makes my sentence difficult to understand, please tell me.
That's a great approach. Or you could say, could you maybe give me some feedback at the end of our conversation? That way you can just talk freely and then spend the last 5 minutes reviewing a few key errors.
I like that even better. It separates the practice part from the correction part. During the conversation, your goal is just fluency and communication. The accuracy and correction can come later.
And what if you just completely forget a word? You're trying to say, I don't know, refrigerator, but your mind is blank. What do you do?
Don't panic. This happens to native speakers too. You can describe the word. You could say, the big cold box in the kitchen where you keep the milk.
Yes, I guarantee your partner will know what you mean. Oh, the refrigerator. And then you've learned the word in a very memorable way. It's actually a great learning opportunity.
It is. Or you can use a simpler word. Maybe you can't remember the word delicious. You can just say, very good. The food was very good. Again, the goal is communication, not using the most advanced vocabulary. The fancy words will come later with more practice.
So the strategy is describe it or simplify it. Don't just go silent.
Never go silent. Silence is the conversation killer. It's better to say something imperfectly than to say nothing at all.
I completely agree. Okay, I want to shift gears a little bit. What if someone is listening to this and they're thinking, I'm just too shy. I can't find a partner yet. Is there anything I can do to practice alone?
I am so glad you asked this because, yes, there is so much you can do. Practicing with a partner is the best, but solo practice is incredibly valuable too. My number one favorite technique is called shadowing.
Shadowing. It sounds like something a spy would do.
It kind of is. You find a short audio clip or a video of a native speaker. It could be from a podcast, a YouTube video, a movie, anything. You listen to one sentence, you press pause, and you repeat the sentence exactly as you heard it.
So you're copying their pronunciation, their intonation, the rhythm of their speech, everything.
Everything. You are their shadow. You try to sound exactly like them. It feels very strange at first, but it is one of the most powerful ways to improve your accent and your fluency. It trains the muscles in your mouth to make the English sounds correctly.
I've heard of this, and it really works. You can do it for just 5 or 10 minutes a day, and you'll start to notice a huge difference in how you sound. Your speech will become much more natural.
And it's a confidence booster. When you start to sound more like a native speaker, you feel more confident about speaking. What's another solo practice tip, James?
This one is going to sound a little crazy, but I promise it works. Talk to yourself.
I do this all the time.
Me too. Just narrate your life. When you're making breakfast, say it out loud. Okay, now I'm getting the eggs out of the refrigerator. I'm going to crack 2 eggs into this bowl. I need some salt and pepper.
It feels so silly, but what you're doing is activating the English part of your brain. You're practicing forming sentences in real time without any pressure. There's nobody there to judge you.
You can also talk to yourself about your day. At the end of the day, stand in front of a mirror and tell yourself what you did. Today, I went to work. I had a busy meeting in the morning. For lunch, I ate a sandwich. After work, I went to the gym. It's simple, but it's practice.
Another great solo technique is to record yourself. Choose a simple topic, like your hobbies, and record yourself talking about it for 1 minute on your phone.
Ooh, I don't know. I hate the sound of my own voice.
Everyone does, but it's so helpful. When you listen back, you will hear your mistakes. You'll notice, oh, I always forget the S on my verbs. Or, my pronunciation of that word is a little strange. You become your own teacher.
That's a really good point. It's hard to know what you sound like until you actually hear it from the outside. Okay, so we have shadowing, talking to yourself, and recording yourself. Those are 3 amazing ways to build your skills and confidence before you even speak to another person.
And you can use them forever. I still do shadowing sometimes if I hear an accent I really like and want to imitate. It's a technique for all levels.
Let's talk about something that makes people sound more natural. Fillers. You know, the little words like, like, you know. Learners are often taught that these are bad, but native speakers use them all the time.
All the time. If you listen to this podcast, you'll hear us using them. They are a natural part of speech. They are the little sounds we make when our brain is searching for the next word.
The problem isn't using them. The problem is overusing them, or only using for 5 seconds straight.
Right. So instead of just a long, silent pause or a loud, you can use some more strategic filler phrases. These make you sound much more fluent and give you time to think.
What are some examples?
Things like, well, let me see, or that's a good question, or, I haven't really thought about that before, but you see, they fill the silence and they signal to the listener that you are thinking.
I love those. It sounds so much better than just staring blankly. How can I put this is another good one.
Yes, or even simple things like repeating the question. If someone asks, what's your favorite thing about your job? You can start your answer with, my favorite thing about my job. Well, I think it would have to be it gives you a few extra seconds to organize your thoughts.
That is such a practical tip. So, don't be afraid of fillers. Just try to use the more sophisticated ones. It's a small change that makes a big difference.
It really does. Another thing that makes conversations feel more real and natural is using some common slang or idioms. But this comes with a big warning.
I know what you're going to say. Don't overdo it.
Do not overdo it. Sometimes learners discover a new idiom and they try to use it in every sentence. It sounds very unnatural. Like if you learned the idiom, it's raining cats and dogs, and you just keep saying it over and over.
Right. So the key is to learn them, understand them, but use them sparingly. Pick one or two that you really like and that feel natural for you. For example, a piece of cake is a very common idiom that means very easy.
You could say, I thought the test would be hard, but it was a piece of cake. It sounds natural. But you wouldn't say, my breakfast was a piece of cake. My walk to work was a piece of cake. My morning meeting was a piece of cake.
That would be very strange. Another thing is to make sure you really understand the context. Some slang is very informal, and you wouldn't use it in a professional setting. For example, the slang spill the tea, which means to share gossip. You might say that with a friend, but you probably wouldn't say it to your boss.
A very important distinction. So, with slang and idioms, our advice is to be a sponge. Listen for them. Notice how native speakers use them. If you hear one you like, look it up, understand it, and then maybe try to use it once in your next conversation. See how it feels.
That's a safe way to do it. Let it happen naturally. Don't try to force it. Your conversation partner will be more impressed by your clear communication than by your ability to use 10 different idioms in one sentence.
100%. Okay, we've covered so much. The mindset, finding partners, what to talk about, active listening, solo practice, fillers, idioms. I want to bring it all together. I think the final and maybe most important piece of advice is about consistency.
Yes, you cannot have one conversation a month and expect to see big improvements. It's like exercise. You have to do it regularly.
Even a short amount of time done consistently is better than a long time done rarely. 15 minutes of speaking practice 3 times a week is so much better than one 2-hour session every month.
It's about building a habit. Make it a part of your routine. Maybe every Sunday morning, you have your English chat with your language partner. When it's on your schedule, you're more likely to do it.
And it's important to set realistic goals. Don't say, I'm going to become a fluent speaker in 3 months. That will only lead to disappointment. A better goal is, this week, I'm going to have one 20-minute conversation where I ask at least 5 follow-up questions.
That is a perfect goal. It's specific, it's measurable, and it's achievable. And when you achieve it, you feel successful. That success motivates you to set another small goal for the next week. It's a positive cycle.
Celebrate your small wins. After your conversation, don't focus on the mistakes you made. Focus on what went well. Wow, I spoke for 20 minutes. I understood most of what my partner said. I used that new phrase I learned. Be your own biggest cheerleader.
I really love that, because this journey of learning a language is long. If you're not kind to yourself and you don't celebrate your progress, it's very easy to give up. You have to enjoy the process.
You do. Find a partner you genuinely enjoy talking to. Talk about topics you are genuinely interested in. Laugh at your silly mistakes. Don't see it as a chore. See it as a wonderful opportunity to connect with another person from a different culture and to expand your world.
Well said. When you think about it that way, it changes everything. It's not a test, it's an adventure.
It really is. I think we've given our listeners a lot to think about, and more importantly, a lot of practical things they can start doing today. Let's do a quick recap of the main takeaways.
Great idea. Okay, I'll start. Number 1, change your mindset. Mistakes are good. The goal is communication, not perfection. Be kind to yourself.
Number 2, find a practice partner. Use language exchange apps, hire an online tutor, or find a local meetup group. There are people out there who want to talk to you.
Number 3, prepare for your conversations. Don't write a script, but have a few topics and questions ready. This will prevent the awkward silences.
Number 4, be an active listener. Ask follow-up questions and use phrases that show you are engaged. A conversation is a two-way street.
Number 5, if you can't find a partner or are too shy, practice alone. Use techniques like shadowing, talking to yourself, and recording your voice to build confidence.
Number 6, make your speech sound more natural. Use filler phrases to give yourself time to think, and don't be afraid to sprinkle in a little bit of slang or an idiom you've learned, but don't overdo it.
And finally, number 7, be consistent. Short, regular practice is the key. Set small, achievable goals and celebrate your progress along the way.
That's a perfect summary. And for everyone listening, we want to give you a final piece of encouragement. The first conversation is the hardest. The second one is a little easier. By the 10th one, you're going to feel so much more comfortable. You just have to take that first step.
You really do. Just jump in the water. You'll be surprised at how well you can swim. And people are kinder and more patient than you imagine. You can do this.
Absolutely. We believe in you. And we hope this episode has made the idea of speaking English a little less scary and a lot more exciting.
That's the goal. As always, thank you so much for tuning in to Best English Podcast. We love having you here with us.
We do, and we would love to hear from you. Leave a comment below this video on YouTube. Tell us about your biggest fear when it comes to speaking English, or share a tip that has helped you. Let's create a community of encouragement right here.
That's a great idea. Don't forget to like this video if you found it helpful and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss our next episode.
Thanks again, everyone. Keep practicing, be brave, and have fun with it. We'll talk to you next time.
Bye for now.